right?
So I'm not a big fan of the question I'm about to ask, but I ask it just out
Tell
of
me.
curiosity.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like speed to like $1 million,
Mm-hmm.
we're making $1 million, right?
Okay.
In your world,
Yep.
if I'm a complete noob, how long do you think it'll take?
With
But I have
help-
the right resources, help, yes.
With help, you could probably get there. If you start with, let's say, the minimum PDT, which is the pattern day trader rule, amounts 25,000. Okay. You could probably get there in about 3.5 to 4 years if you are consistently studying, you're getting better, and you're reflecting on the losses and you're managing the losses. There's so many caveats that goes into
Yeah,
this.
for
Like,
sure.
if
I mean,
say
just
3
like
or 4
anything.
years,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's doable. Like it's way quicker than holding and hoping a retirement fund for 30 years. That's why I'm obsessed in saying that this game works, but you got to get obsessed with the right things.
And then another question. So like when you actually start making money and you start banking cash, how stable is the consistency of it?
Like once you have a lot of money to
Like is it always coming back down to you? How do you systemize this and like step away from it? And
Yeah, there's multiple ways, right? I think there comes a point where trading in itself can just become a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't really want to be sitting there all the time and buying and selling stocks, there comes a point where you need to transition that to passive, which is kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? You got to put that money into something that makes you passive income.
Like dividends or something like
Dividends is one way, or you just real estate, which is the game that I got a part of. Or you can just actually invest your money with like private wealth companies that'll give you 10, 20, 30% returns. They'll trade your money for you, right? And you get money that way. But as far as like how do you keep up with it and like how do you keep going, I think you decide what that number is. Like let's say I'm gonna make $10 million. That's the number, right? And on 10 million, if I put that all on passive, that's 10% a year. So you look at $1 million a year, just passively being made for you, right? So the path to 10 million, there's gonna come a point where you sometimes can't put in a massive position size into a stock because it's just not that liquid yet, right? So there is restrictions on how fast the money grows after the first few $1 million. But getting to like sort of, I say $3 to $5 million in the micro cap world where you have hundreds of millions of shares traded every day, it's a doable thing if you learn the behind the scenes of what those companies are up to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you is it a thing to like hire other people to trade on your behalf?
There's like prop firms and stuff too. You can
but like not like
Yeah.
you like for your own employees, like take it as like a business and
You could. So there's a way. So one thing that you could do, and this is one thing actually, a spin-off of that we're currently doing with what I'm doing as well with my own students is, yes, you could have people technically trade your money. Like here, you come into my account, you know what you're doing, right? So go and trade for me, right? You
well,
could
I mean,
do
if
that,
you have
right?
like SOP set up or like training set up, I'm
Yeah.
just curious, like if it's like a systemizable thing that
It is systemizable,
Oh,
but so much of trading has got to do with the individual that's pulling the trigger on those trades, right?
Yeah,
and what they understand of the stock, of the story, of the share structure, who the holders are, all that stuff. That you almost develop your own personality trading, right? Do I put it to an SOP? Yes, but my emotional triggers are not the same as yours.
That's true,
right? And not the same as his, right? So we're going to think and perceive things differently. And as a result, it's a very hard thing to systematize. That's why I'm a believer of don't teach people to draw lines on charts. Don't teach that stuff because that's not what works. What needs to work is you got to find your own edge in the markets. And how you find that is understand how the markets work. If I can teach you how the markets work, you'll find which corner of it makes sense to you to make money from.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, because then I feel like you probably read a lot then, huh?
I used to. Now I just use like the Control F feature on my keyboard or
ChatGPT, like
or AI. AI helps. AI is phenomenal for this stuff because like AI helps. Like if you know to ask the right question on what you're looking for, AI will pull it up right away.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Yeah.